Welcome back on our course of Essence of Dowsing. In this section, I would like to talk about different materials of which pendulums are made. Because on the market you can see pendulums made of wood, pendulums made of metal, and also group of pendulums, the most popular pendulums on this continent, which are made of gemstones. So let's look at the quality of each material and what would be better for us to use. Pendulums made of wood or metal can be very precisely cut. That's why we only use the metal or the wood. When you make a pendulum of wood, it has to be very dense wood. So because the pores inside the wood will influence the balance. And I know that in everyday dowsing, it may not be extremely important, but when you provide pendulums for people, in my opinion, we producers have a responsibility to provide the best possible tools. So, beechwood or mahogany, which is denser material than beechwood, but also more expensive. So then you have to look what your budget is when you invest your money into purchasing a pendulum. Until a few years ago, we also made pendulums made of ebony, but it is endangered right now, therefore we are not allowed to buy or sell products made of ebony. But it is so extremely dense and also a lot more expensive because the wood fractures during the process of cutting. And then we have pendulums made of metal. Now, from all metals, brass seems to be the best to make pendulum from, just because it has conductivity very close to conductivity of copper, but it doesn't give to the human energy field so much and so fast. And don't forget, when we deal with, especially for those who deal with basic pendulums, which gather the energy in their energy field. When you talk about something, when you discuss with your pendulum something what is not very healthy, then it will come to it can potentially, I cannot say that it will for sure, but it definitely can pass some energy to you. To avoid that, it's good to use brass, because it has high conductivity but doesn't really conduct this energy to your energy field as easy as other metals. Other metal could be an aluminum, bigger aluminum. If we want to make a bigger pendulum, it's always better to do it from aluminum, because aluminum is simply lighter than brass. And a huge topic of gemstone pendulums. I know they look lovely, and I know that many people have them and they love their pendulums and so on. One thing which we have to take under consideration when we use gemstone pendulums is the fact that, as I said before, gemstones are very, very dense, very intense, and therefore carving in them is very hard. And when you look at the pendulums collection of many stores, you will see only basic shapes, which means a ball or a cone or a teardrop, just because this is maximum what you can shape out of gemstone. So that's one thing. But the even more important aspect of gemstone pendulum is that when you use gemstone pendulum, you need to learn really first about the quality and potency of specific gemstone, because the gemstone has its own intelligence. So it's not always what you say, but sometimes what pendulums reads and prefers to do. For example, if you will have a pendulum, very popular and looking very appealing, made of, I'm sorry, one pendulum, one down, is made of amethyst. Well, amethyst by its color, so its vibration, and also by the nature of this gemstone, is to cool down. So it's a good pendulum to use if you will deal with nervous breakdowns or any energies or conditions which are connected with nervous system. But if you want to energize someone because you or someone else is simply tired and has to go on for another few hours, it's very hard to do it, because by its nature the amethyst pendulum is to calm down, not to energize someone. So you will have to push a lot of your own energy in order to energize someone. But if you can push so much energy, you don't need a pendulum, especially basic pendulum. You can put your hands and heal people or help people with the energy which is radiated by your body through your hands. So sometimes it comes to a collection of very many pendulums, because each gemstone will have a different qualities, and therefore to approach specific condition you need to have large collection of different gemstones. But most of all, you cannot make a healing shape out of gemstone. Simply you cannot carve it. So I guess that will cover the material with which we work with. The same pendulum made of metal can be made of wood. It's a lot lighter and therefore can be used by majority of people, while this one is for people who really can appreciate the heaviness of the pendulum. Let's talk now about different groups of pendulums. Let me omit this time the basic pendulums, because in one of my clips on the YouTube channel I was talking about the qualities of basic pendulums. There's not much to say about them. So let's go to the pendulums which are more advanced. And of course the largest group are therapeutic pendulums. Why they are called therapeutic is because the shape, which is based on sacred geometry, releases the energy. And this energy can be sent to human body to balance their health, assess and balance. So that's why we call them, in Europe they are called healing pendulum. Here we call them therapeutic pendulums, because they can help in therapy. It's not that the people with healing power cannot use them. Quite opposite. When you have an ability to heal with your own energy and you will use the therapeutic pendulums, it will help you, it will join the forces with you, and therefore it will be your force and the force of the pendulum connected together, sent to the people, and therapy will be more effective and faster. Among those pendulums, we have pendulums which work on white light, which means they radiate, they emit the energy of white light, which means from red to violet, as our 7 chakras, and pendulums which are called golden light pendulum. On our website, under therapeutic pendulums, you will have separated those two groups: pendulums working with white light and pendulums working with golden light. And then about quality of white light and golden light, we'll talk during the healing course, but for now on, let's leave it at this. Majority of pendulums deal with white light because quality and ability of us making the pendulums with which release golden light are known to us only for last, let's say, 10 years. Therefore, there is not too many shapes releasing golden light, but 4 of them, which is quite a selection for everyone to choose from. There are also pendulums which are called color pendulums or color therapy pendulums, which means that they work the best with when you deal with colors. For example, if you want to balance chakras, if you want to find out what type of energy certain object, food, or person releases at that moment. So those are pendulums which have all the colors. I'm not sure if you can see them, but the colors are preset for us on the string. So from the black through infrared, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, ultraviolet up to white. So from here to here, from black to white, you have whole spectrum of colors. And you can practically deal with any health condition using this pendulum. Very widely, very popular, and often used by especially people who do Reiki, because they mostly use pendulums to balance chakras. And then there is also a virtual cone, which we will talk in details later, just because it is a very simple but also very effective and unusual tool to work with when we deal with colors. And then there is a group of pendulums which are called the witness chamber pendulums. Pendulums which you can open and put something inside. Those pendulums are not self-clearing, those are not healing pendulums, but they can be used in healing if you will put something inside. So for example, if I will find out that in my body, let's say magnesium is not balanced, I can put the supplement, magnesium as a supplement here, close it, and then use it over my body to balance the level of magnesium. So, for example, let me just close it, because it should create a perfect ball, therefore it's slightly demanding. And so if I will go on my wavelength, which is here, and then hold it over my body, presuming that the magnesium is inside, and I will say balance the level of magnesium in my body, it will rotate over my body as long as the level of magnesium is not brought up to the proper, perfect level for my body. Do I have to know? No, I don't have to know how much magnesium I need at that moment, because my body will call for magnesium as long as it's needed. And again, details about it belong to Healing with Pendulum, and we will spend quite a time to talk about working with supplements. And again, there is a huge variety of pendulums with witness chamber. Each of them has this hole in it, which is called chamber, witness chamber, in which you put the witness. Witness is a sample of energy of the source. So, for example, the witnesses of me or you can be a piece of your nail, a hair, a thread from my blouse or any piece of garment, my picture, my handwriting, everything what holds in it my energy. I can put it inside and ask questions about this person or myself in order to find out what do I have to do to come back to optimal for my age, for my stage of life, energy field, or health. You can put there also the supplement, which means when I will find what I need, I can put this supplement inside and again use the pendulum over my palm of my hand in order to supply my body with this specific supplement. The vibration is, it is important to hold pendulum over your hand, non-dominant hand, because your pendulum is always in your dominant hand. So over your non-dominant hand, because your hand chakra is the entrance point for the energy to enter your body, go inside, spread around, and bring you to balance. As much as in everyday dowsing, like, does he love me? Should I go there? Should I buy it? Is it good for me? And things like this. You hold pendulum next to your body because you are still in your energy field, but it's the energy field is quieter, not as hectic as normally. But when you use pendulum to pass an energy to your body, you should hold it over your hand in order to let the energy go inside and travel through your physical and subtle bodies to balance your energy. And again, there is quite a few pendulums of different size and different weights and so on, which has this witness chamber, so everyone will find something what fits their need. Coming back to healing pendulums for a moment, all the majority of pendulums which you see here are safe. We call them safe because they radiate white or gold light and they don't have any negative influence on your body. You may not achieve your goal, but you will not hurt anyone by using them. Among the three, what we called Egyptian pendulums, which is Isis, which means this shape, which is the most popular shape, and Mermaid, for example, Isis pendulum, as I said, the best pendulum to release pain. There is also Atlantis pendulum, Golden Hue pendulum, Nova, Renova. You have them, you have whole selection on the website. We also have pendulums which are Egyptian pendulums. They were not found in Egypt, but they were built in Egypt based on the information received by first scientists coming into Egyptian archaeological sites to speed up their process of researching those artifacts found there. And one of those, there are only two pendulums which are not safe, and they are always disconnected. When anyone buys it, he will or she will receive 2 pieces of pendulum in one package. You connect them only when you work with them. What is the difference between safe and not safe pendulum? Let me explain that. Safe pendulums release, as I said, white or golden light, while unsafe pendulums, both of them work with white light, but they have one more vibration, which make it not very safe for practitioner. And this is vibration known and called negative green. Until a few years ago on this continent, the frequency of negative green wasn't that popular and known to many, but now more and more people talks about negative green. Among them, those are people who I trained to teach dowsing further and share this knowledge with people. Negative green vibration is the shortest vibration known on the earth today. Therefore, it is the most penetrating frequency. It goes through your body, it stops at nowhere. It goes hundreds and thousands of kilometers up into the space and so on. Very often it is used to transmit the energy, and therefore in those two pendulums it was used, the shapes were used to pass the energy from one place to the other. So imagine ancient cell phone, when the energy is shipped from here, sent from here to there, from point A to point B by the shape. Therefore, the carrier wave which was used to pass this energy is called today negative green. So again, the shortest, the most penetrating frequency known today. You can ask, and I'm asked that question often when people begin to dowse, why really we need so many pendulums? What is the difference? Why can't I use just a regular pendulum? Why can't I use my pendant? Why can't I use my keychains to dowse? Well, in fact, you can. Because when you hold anything in your hand, with time it will start to move. Simply because the energy goes through your hand, comes from the hand chakra, and then is passed to the string, and then finally it will move the pendulum. So yes, everything can be used as a pendulum if you are desperate. But among many things which we need to realize when we take pendulums in our hands is also the fact that they have to be properly polarized. When you use the bunch of keys, then definitely the polarity of each key is different, and therefore it's hard to get the consistent true answers. Pendants are filled with my energy. Therefore, there is not much room to get the energy about any other questions which I have in my head and the problems I want to solve. So again, as we talked previously, pendulum has to be empty when you work with it. So there is only one problem inside the pendulum, which is the problem which I try to solve at that moment. When I have my pendant filled with me, then it will not accept too much of new energy because there is no room inside. So I hope I explained to you the difference between groups of pendulums, categories of pendulums, and trust me, they were people who spent their life on perfecting specific pendulums to work with what they are meant to do. For example, working with a witness, working with colors, or working with specifically white light or golden light in its whole spectrum. I hope that next time when you will choose the pendulum or you will see the pendulums, you will be able to distinguish between them and make a proper choice for your need and your work. Thank you. Hello everyone. Now we will talk in this segment about different tips how to make your pendulum work more effective. So first of all, if you want to work with pendulum and you first found your wavelength, then the next step will be to find your yes and no answer or movement. So because you're on your wavelength, pendulum hears you. Therefore, you can say now, because it hears you, you can say, show me the yes direction. And you repeat, show me yes, show me yes, show me yes, show me yes, in your mind, of course, as long as pendulum will not start moving. Mine moves faster and right away, just because I have more experience than beginning dowser, of course. And then you don't catch it, you don't do anything to it, you just say thank you. Because if it moves like this, show me yes, show me yes, show me yes, show me yes, thank you, it stops because it knows that you don't need this energy anymore. And then you can say, now show me the no direction. And you repeat, show me no, show me no, show me no, show me no. And it starts to move in opposite or different direction. It can be a combination of movement. Yes, this way, no, this way. Or yes, up and down and no, side to side. There is also a combination of movement like yes, this way and no, that way. Theoretically, it doesn't matter, which means if you remember your movements for yes and no, that's fine. That's enough for you to dowse. However, it's always better to have consistent movement, which means either linear or circular. So either yes, thank you, no, thank you, or yes, thank you, no, thank you. It is simply easier for your energy to move your pendulum in the same fashion all the time. In healing, we have many movements, but main movements will be this, which means clockwise, which means I'm giving you the energy weight, and I should wait until it will stop, or this way, counterclock movement, which says I have to withdraw the energy. So it's clearing, it's removing, it's all this. Very often our chakras are not balanced just because they are loaded with some garbage energy instead of having a pure energy of vibration which they represent. So very often by removing the energy which blocks the chakra or certain organ, we balance it and it becomes healthy again. So let's talk now about simple tips to increase your accuracy in dowsing. First of all, you can think about the problem you have as fast as possible. So repeat in your mind the question until you will see the answer. So for example, if I want to go somewhere on vacation or whatever, I can say vacation in June of 2019, and this is my no, it says no. And when I will say vacation in August, it says yes. Okay, so if I wouldn't have experience, I would do this. Vacation in June 2019, vacation in 2019, until I will see the movement. Or I will say, okay, if it's not, then what about July? Vacation in July 2019, vacation in July. And it says yes. Basically, the idea is that there is no break between your questions through which your desire could infiltrate and influence your brain, which means the movement of your pendulum. The next idea is to go on alpha state. And alpha state is something what you always which you are very familiar with, because we always go through alpha state when we go to sleep, when your body is already heavy, but you are still acutely aware of everything what is going on around. Going to alpha state is relatively easy, and it goes like 1, 2, 3. So in your mind you will imagine something what reminds you about number 3, or you will see number 3, and you will repeat in your mind 3, 3, 3, and then you erase it, and you see number 2, and then you will repeat in your mind 2, 2, 2, always 3 times. Erase it, and then you have number 1, and you will say 1, 1, 1. When you open your eyes, you are on alpha. Your brain understands that it goes deeper into toward the unconscious, And on this level, which is called alpha state of your brain, it's a specific frequency of your brain waves. You will, at the moment when you have, or state of your mind, when you have connection with your intuition and your brain is not able to influence your pendulum or pendulum movement easy. So either repeating your question or going on alpha state. When you finish your dowsing on alpha state, you simply go back to what we call beta state, which means daily awareness, by counting back, which means that now you do not repeat it 3 times, you just go 1, 2, 3, open your eyes, and you are in beta state. It's very simple, very easy, and very helpful. More complex way is to have your pendulum in your hand and use your hand as a helper. So you can put your hand down toward the ground, not that way, so the vibration coming from the ground will be simply reversed and redirected, but rather if you will imagine extending your fingers, they will simply go to the ground and ground yourself. So what you can do is you can hold your hand down and this pendulum here, and for example, let me give you an example. This is the statue of Isis, goddess Isis. If I will hold the pendulum, maybe I will take a different shape for you to see better. If I will have pendulum over this, and I will ask, is it Isis statue? It says yes. But if I will say, I would like to believe that it's coffee, is it coffee? Now movement back and forth in this case means, wait, I'm checking. And my hand is just, as majority of people have, somewhere on the table. So is it cup of coffee? It checked and it says no. But if I would like to say, I want to believe that it's cup of coffee because I need my blood pressure up, so please tell me that it's coffee, then it says yes, okay, if you want it, have it your way. That's why people often say, well, my pendulum is lying. Pendulum is not lying, it's just your desires come through faster than you would like to. If I will have my hand down and I will say, is it a statue of Isis? And it says yes, thank you. Is it a cup of coffee? It says no, but I would like to believe that it's cup of coffee. Can you tell me that it's cup of coffee? Is it cup of coffee? And it still says no. But I really need to believe that it's cup of coffee. Is it cup of coffee? And it still moves no, in no direction. So I gave you 3 very simple tips to make your dowsing more accurate, so you can trust yourself and you can become better, more effective dowser by simply use very, very easy tricks to make your body less responsive to your dreams and desires and be connected and in tune with the truth which flows from the universe through your body to the pendulum to give you a proper answer. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful time dowsing, and we will meet again, I hope.